Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 57 on February 12th, 2023 from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1,199 versus a regular price of $1,999 for one total savings of $800. This limited time super discount comes out to less than $100 per month and only $3.28 per day. As an added bonus, your all access starts immediately, so the sooner you buy before Super Bowl 56, the more additional days you will get for free. Just go to WagerTalk.com, choose your favorite handicapper to lock in, and don't forget there is no limit to the amount of handicappers you can redeem our Super Bowl to Super Bowl offer on.
Welcome, everyone, to Wager Talk Today. I am the best-looking old guy in the industry, Lawrence Presman. He's Teddy Covers. Teddy, big show. Dave Cokin joining us right off the top. He's looking at Iowa, Purdue, Cal, UCLA, USC, and Stanford. It's a triple pack of college hoops. We got Carmine Bianco talking NHL, Devils and Lightning, Predators and Oilers, and Ralph Michaels. He's got a chart. We've seen it. I'm excited about it. He's going to look at last 10 years and last 21 years of NFL championship games. He's also going to look at the Rams 49ers game and a college hoops game. And you, dude, you're doing all the heavy lifting this week. You did a big game breakdown yesterday on the NFL. You got a big game breakdown today on the other NFL game. But most importantly, Teddy, I'm told you took a mental health day. I feel somewhat responsible for that. I didn't know it was a thing. But anyway, what do you do on a mental health day? Tell us about your mental health break.
So I've been running really bad. All right. I mean, the last week was ugly. All right. Ugly for me, ugly for my clients. Everyone hates me. And the idea is you don't kick the dog. You don't beat your kid. You don't yell at your wife. You go for a walk in the sun. And that's exactly what I did yesterday. You have to relax. You have to stop pressing. You have to get back in the mentality of doing what you know how to do. And unfortunately, sometimes we need a mental health day. I needed a reset, man. And I'm glad I took it. I don't get to go to Punta Cana or Cana Punta, wherever the hell you get to go to, Prez. I get to go to the park. And I went to the park and I hung out in the sun. And I feel better today. I sat down last night. You're like, yeah, this is making sense. It's not looking like gibberish to me anymore. We'll see if we can get rolling today, my friend. I do have a 5% big ticket play up and available in college hoops for tonight. So we'll see if we can get rolling after what's been a dismal stretch over the last week and a half. It wasn't pretty. I feel better today. And sometimes, Prez, you absolutely need to do that. You know, you need to just walk away, don't hang out and think about all the stuff you should have done. Walk away, breathe. You come back the next day, you feel better. How about you? What did you learn last night?
Teddy, I learned bugger all, man. I played rummy with my daughter. I won. I had a winning night again, 7 winning nights in the last 10. I had a terrible daily presidential address, but man, 2 days in a row, just bad daily presidential addresses, but winning for the clients. So that's the most important thing. And like you, my brother, I have a 5% play tonight as well. It's in NHL. I had one 2 days ago. We cashed it. I have a promo code to give out. I did just ask if we could get a promo code for you. It's probably a little bit too late. But my promo code is Prez15. Hey, try it on Teddy's. Prez15. Go grab my NHL 5% play. You cannot miss my 5% plays. And Teddy's, man. He's been rolling in these 5% plays as well. What do you think of the beard, Teddy?
In the winter, I understand it. You never look better with a white beard than you do clean shaven. Just it is what it is. In the winter, we got to grow it. As soon as the first sweat of the season, the first time it's sunny enough that I'm sweating, it comes off. So usually the beginning of March. But no, I don't like it. I can't say it looks great.
No, well, listen, I got ski season coming up, so I want to be
Yeah.
a little bit warm. Speaking
Yeah,
of white beards, Dave Cokin joining us. And Dave, was there ever a time you dyed your beard? I know Jim does.
Yes.
Jim Feist, everybody, and I love
Yes.
Jim Feist. Wonderful man. But Dave, you did? You dyed your beard at one point?
Yeah, when I was, I turned gray or white, if whatever you want to call it, pretty early, and this would have been right around, I'd say, 1990 or so. So I'm, still in my late 30s, and the beard's turning colors, and it looked terrible on TV. So they said, well, look, you either got to shave it off or get it colored. So I went for the colored because I didn't want to shave it off, and kept it colored until I was about 60, and then I decided at that point, well, enough. I'm not going to be fooling anybody anymore, and just let it grow out at that point.
Yeah, I did about 6 months of coloring the hair and the beard. Maybe it was a little more than that, 9 months, when I was doing that very first show that I did with Malinsky. And Malinsky was supposed to be the old professor, and I was supposed to be the young up-and-comer. But I was already half gray by then. So they're like, yeah, put on the dye, put on the dye. I hated doing that. I didn't had no joy in getting your face dyed and your hair dyed. And after
Well, I had it done professionally.
when that first part of that we did one season of it, and then I'm like, I'm never doing that again. And it's been gray ever since.
I had it done professionally, so it was not a hassle.
So
but,
Yeah,
My
it is. You got to
question
sit there in the chair. I did too. You sit there for an hour. It takes forever to get your hair done, dude. I like getting in and out. I'm getting into the barber. I'm getting out of the barber in a half hour. I'm not sitting there for hours. It's forever.
takes me 2 minutes now.
Hey,
Literally,
Dave.
I'm in and out of there. She just the same girl still does the beard, because with my eyes I'll screw it up. It's like 10 minutes a week.
Yeah, Dave, and how often? So that's what you need to do it once a week, right? Is that what, give or take, about once a week?
I need to get it trimmed about once a week.
Right.
And
listen, Teddy.
I could let it go out and look like Grizzly Adams or something, but I don't think that's a good look for me.
Dave, look, Teddy.
That's a good look for me.
Teddy wanting a quick in and out seems extremely appropriate. Iowa plus 2.5 versus Purdue. What do we do in this game, Dave?
Well, Purdue hasn't been great on the road, so maybe Iowa can get him. Iowa certainly has the revenge motive from the first meeting where they lost by 7, but it really wasn't that close. The issue for Iowa is, can they keep Purdue off the offensive glass? And that's been an issue for Purdue. They're not the toughest team inside on defense. This is a long-standing thing with Iowa where they can get pushed around in the paint. And Purdue is the type of team that can push them around inside the paint. So it's a spot where I think Iowa's the right side in terms of spot. But then you go to the matchup and you say, oh boy, that's a weakness for Iowa and that's a strength for Purdue. And I don't like taking weakness versus strength when you better win the game to cover the spread. So I favor the spot more than the matchup, I guess. So I'll lean to Iowa, but I can't really recommend it as a play. And there'll be a popular side tonight because the Big Ten revenge motivation thing is very popular with bettors, and with good reason because it works quite a bit. I'm not sure it will here. I'll call it a lean on Iowa, but that's it.
So when these two teams met back in December, 77-70, Purdue wins the game. But Iowa was a 14.5 point dog there. Now we're seeing Iowa, 2.5. Have the markets adjusted too much? Are they raising Iowa? Are they lowering Purdue? What do you think the disparity is between that first meeting of the Boilermakers 17.5 and right now the 2.5 spread that we're talking?
I already said it. The odds makers know that home court revenge is a big deal to bettors in the Big Ten, and they adjust the line accordingly. Because you can make a case that Purdue probably should be 4 or so here, just in terms of a number. But you put a 4 out there, and you're going to get a lot of Iowa action. So the odds makers do a real good job of knowing what the market's going to do before the market does it, and that's why they make money most of the time.
Dave Cokin joining us, everyone. Exclusive to WagerTalk.com and a legend in this space. Somebody just said that I look like Dave Cokin with my beard now, and I should get some dark shades. Anyway, what?
I said you should sue whoever said that for libel.
Yeah. Hey, dude. Dave, you're a freaking stud, man. 69 years old, looking amazing. Come on. Welcome to the Silver Fox podcast, everyone. Cal UCLA. Dave, how do we bet this game?
Well, look, if you believe in scheduling dynamics, you got to give Cal a little bit of a shot here because UCLA, I mean, that place was jumping on Monday night. Fans finally back at the game. Was it Monday or Tuesday? I don't remember now, but it was Tuesday, I think. UCLA was really good against Arizona. I talked about that game on it was Tuesday because I did a preview of the game on the college basketball show, which I'm not on Monday, so it had to be Tuesday. And I thought UCLA might get them because they actually matched up pretty well with Arizona, and wish I'd have given it out as a nice big play. I didn't. I just had an opinion on the game. The problem now is, how is UCLA possibly going to get up to face California? And they're a gigantic favorite. They already handled this team. California doesn't match up with UCLA because if you want to beat UCLA, you got to get your transition offense going. And the reason I liked UCLA against Arizona was I thought they could control the Arizona transition offense. They did, and it was a rough night for the Wildcats. California doesn't have any transition offense, so they can't play into the one, call it semi-vulnerability on UCLA. And that means they don't have much of a chance in this basketball game. The problem is you really can't, to me, you can't lay a gigantic number with UCLA in what is clearly a letdown spot. The crowd's not going to be as fired up. The team's not going to be as fired up. Those are spots where the better team wins and finds a way not to cover the spread. I don't know that I can take California here because, again, it's just a horrible matchup for them. But it's the only side I'd consider because the scheduling dynamics are anti-UCLA tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Cal now with 5 straight losses in Pac-12 play, including both these teams played Arizona in their last game. And UCLA beat them, and Cal lost by 25 at home to the Wildcats. When you look at a team that's on a skid, where California, the last win came the second day of January, are those teams that you would rather have in a friendly home environment, or would you rather have them catching more points in a hostile road environment? In general, Dave, what's your thought process on that?
I don't have an answer to that because it's not.
There's no in general.
The way I cap college basketball is I look at each matchup individually, and there's I don't follow any trends at all. So I don't know how to answer that question. I wouldn't rather have them or not have them. I'll just wait for a spot where California is either a play on or play against, depending on the matchup and the scheduling dynamics, and go from there. So tonight, scheduling dynamics say take Cal. Everything else says don't.
Well, what do we do about the USC Stanford game? -11. Do we take the favorite or play the dog?
I mean, and I looked a long time at this game because it is a revenge spot for USC. They're playing good basketball. And it's kind of like, this might be something that I can sink my teeth into. And I don't think the number is terrible. In other words, you're not paying a real premium to bet USC here. So this might be pretty good. And then I got into the matchup, and it's like, boy, Stanford might be even better on the glass than USC. That's Stanford's strength. They're a really good rebounding team. And what that means is if USC isn't able to carve out their usual edge on the boards, I don't know that they're going to win this game that easily. So it's a game that went from probably going to play this to, I think I better leave this alone at the number. I think USC's got a chance to go out there and whack them. They're certainly going to be motivated for the game. They're a better team than Stanford. But again, you get to that one, and again, this is why I know I sound like a broken record on this. I don't give a shit about trends, okay? To me, they're as useless as tits on a bull, okay? But I do care
love
about
tits on a bull.
Well, go find one. The matchup is the thing that keeps me away from the game. I don't think USC is going to kill this team on the glass. In fact, they might not beat them on the glass at all. And that means USC is going to have a good shooting night to really whack Stanford. It's a lean on USC. It's the only side I'd play with the revenge consideration, especially since they probably should have won the first meeting anyway and let it get away. But it won't make my board. I did play 4 games tonight. 2 of them are free plays, by the way, and then there's one that's a best bet. And I also have a hockey game for all access customers. USC probably would be the next game, but it didn't make my card. But I do like. I have to lean at least fairly strongly to USC.
So in that first meeting between these two teams, USC never covered at any point during the 40 minutes of play and lost the battle of the offensive glass in particular. That's the one that stood out. They only had 3 offensive rebounds in that game. They were actually +2 on the boards for the full game, but that was more because of defensive rebounding. The offensive glass was not a factor for USC in that contest. Does that concern you here, laying a price with the Trojans?
Yeah, that's what I just said. I said the rebounding matchup concerns me, and that's what's keeping me off the game. Stanford is as good on the glass as USC is, and that's not usually the case for the Trojans. They're a good rebounding team, and usually don't get a lot of second chances against them, and they usually carve out some second chances for themselves. I don't know if they get them here. Stanford's big and physical, and they could be the type of team that gives USC trouble. But I still think the Trojans get them because it's a serious motivational spot for USC. They want the revenge.
Dave Cokin. Dave, what do you got to promote? And then we got to let you go. Carmine Bianco waiting in the wings.
Just what I promoted just now. Do you guys listen to me? I have
No, I do not.
I do.
Teddy does. I do
college
not.
basketball games. One of them's a best bet. Best bets have been doing really well. In fact, I had a losing night last night, but things have been quite good in this January so far. So 3 college basketball games, 2 of which are free. Just go to my homepage and you get the 2 free plays. Also have a hockey game tonight for all access clients, and we'll see what Sam Burns can do after a decent opening round at the Farmers Invitational, or Farmers whatever it is, and the PGA Tour.
Dave, am I wrong? Is tonight the first 5 we've seen in hockey this year?
I don't know. I don't do hockey totals.
Well, we'll ask that to Carm, but we do have a 5 on the New York Islander LA Kings game. Dave Cokin, everyone, outstanding work. Dave, have an amazing day. A privilege having you on, like always. Teddy Covers, get your chops ready, bro. You're going to be taking apart the San Fran Rams game in just a minute.
Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 57 on February 12, 2023 from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1,199 versus a regular price of $1,999 for one total savings of $800. This limited time super discount comes out to less than $100 per month and only $3.28 per day. As an added bonus, your all access starts immediately. So the sooner you buy before Super Bowl 56, the more additional days you will get for free. Just go to WagerTalk.com, choose your favorite handicapper to lock in, and don't forget there is no limit to the amount of handicappers you can redeem our Super Bowl to Super Bowl offer on.
It is time for today's big game breakdown with the new theme music. Very exciting, the new intro. We appreciate the work behind the scenes very much. Let's talk a little NFL championship game action. We went through the Chiefs and the Bengals yesterday. Today, let's talk about the Rams and the 49ers. Right now, looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen, I'm seeing LA -3.5, total 46 in this ball game. They played twice already this year, 31-10 and 27-24 in overtime in favor of San Fran, a game in which the 49ers rallied back from a 2-touchdown deficit at halftime. Of course, we look at the merger since the merger back in 1970, 22 instances of a team winning both regular season games and then meeting a third time in the postseason. We're talking about the team that won the first two meetings, won the third meeting 14 out of those 22 times. So that is in favor of the 49ers. And when you look at playoff teams coming off consecutive underdog playoff wins, like San Fran, teams with all the momentum, the next game, about 12-4 against the spread since 1990. Teams like the Niners have been consistently profitable against teams like the Rams, both in the winning the regular season series and in the coming off consecutive underdog playoff wins. When we look at LA and San Fran last week, look, both teams in a sense are lucky to be here. The 49ers won their game thanks to defense and special teams, not because of Jimmy G, but they've also just survived and advanced past a game where their quarterback was god-awful. All right, for the second straight week, essentially. And wouldn't expect that every week from Jimmy G, certainly not in the nasty or in warmer conditions of LA, as opposed to what we saw in Green Bay. On the other side of the equation, you got Matthew Stafford, who cannot be trusted with a lead. And we saw that very clearly last week against Tampa Bay. I'm expecting conservative game plans for both of these coaches. We saw the Rams at times last week really dominate the line of scrimmage. I wouldn't be surprised they're able to do that here, especially if Trent Williams continues to be hobbled by injuries. You look at the other side of the equation, it's the Aaron Donald and Von Miller on the one side. It's not like San Fran is doing anything but playing conservative, defensive-minded, run-first football. There's a reason all the money has come on the under so far. The sharp money sees it clearly. This is not a high-octane shootout. Look for the Rams and 49ers to play another low-scoring defensive scrum that stays under the total. And there's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez. You can give the promo code with the WTT40 because I forgot to do it in the big game breakdown.
Well, and it's been changed. Chris Allen, brother, if you can cut this so Teddy and I can both tweet it out, that would be great. We've got an incredible promo code for you guys. It happened live on this show. Teddy covers as a 5% play up in college basketball. It's the first of the year for him. I have a 5% play up in the NHL. If you guys put both 5% plays in the shopping cart together, use the promo code WTT30. WTT30. You get $30 off, which basically means you're getting one free for the price of the other. WTT30, both 5% plays. Make sure to grab that. It is incredible, incredible offer. And hey, we'll just give you Carmine's entire card for free on the house if you buy that package. Carm, thoughts?
I'm good with that, Prez.
No, we're not doing that, dude. We're not doing that.
No, it's all good. Just for everyone else out there, just PayPal Teddy, and we will give you Prez's all access for a year for free. It's all good. What's up, boys?
How are you, my brother?
I'm good. I'm gearing up a big weekend in sports. Obviously, NFL stuff, World Cup stuff. I'm going to be at the Canada-USA game, freezing. I'll just say freezing, but I'm looking forward to that game as well, too.
Excellent stuff. Carm, we're talking NHL with you. I mean, first off, just a huge congrats, man. I mean, both you and Andrew had such a terrible start to the NHL season, and hey, both of you have turned it around, man. You guys are just on fire. So outstanding work, and Puck Time is as good a show as it gets. But let's get into it. We got the Devils playing the Lightning tonight. You have a first period bet for everyone. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, Teddy, first of all, I love how Prez, his compliments always have a little bit of backhanded stuff in them. You know what I mean? You're off to a horrible start in NHL, but you've recovered nicely, right? It's hilarious, man. This coffee is great. It's much better than the one you made me yesterday. Anyways, with that said, yes, I'm looking at the Tampa Bay.
That was a good one.
Yeah, Okay. Anyways, getting back to NHL, Tampa Bay. Listen, Tampa Bay comes back from a quick 3-game road trip out west where they scored, I think, 13 goals in 2 of their wins. And at home, they're playing lights out, 12-2-1 their last 15, averaging 3.67 goals per game. Same can't be said for the Devils. They're 2-8, their past 10 on the road, and they're allowing in those losses 5 goals a game. Now, normally, what's these underlying numbers, you'd say, okay, well, let me look at the total. But the total is 6.5 in this game, and I don't think you get enough out of New Jersey to get it over 6.5. But I can't take the under when a team is allowing 5 goals or more in their starts on the road. So I'm looking at the first period total here, and these teams combined are 16-4 their last 20 games, 8-2 each team to the over 1.5 their last 10 games. And an interesting fact as far as New Jersey goes, New Jersey has had a goal in the first 10 minutes of their last 11 games, 11-0 to a goal scored in the first 10 minutes. So if your book offers that as well, you might want to take that one. But over 1.5, I think, is the play here. I think we see some goals early in this one. And it's John Giles in net. He's a third stringer in net for the Devils tonight, as they still have some injury issues in New Jersey.
Let's talk one more in the NHL with Carmine Bianco and take a look at Nashville traveling to Edmonton. Now, a little birdie right here on the show told me I'm supposed to be betting on Edmonton. Edmonton's a bet on all the way. Prez asked if I listen. Yeah, mostly I listen. Cokin was ripping me for not listening, but I was listening. I was looking for a follow to ask him. I didn't like my follows. Nonetheless, a little birdie told me I'm supposed to be betting Edmonton every game right now, but you seem to like Nashville in this one. Talk to me about why we want to be betting against the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, I'm not sold on this Edmonton team. It's the old Johnny Detroit when people tell him to bet the Lions, the banana in the tailpipe. I am not convinced on this Edmonton team as of yet. Yeah, they got a couple wins against the Flames and against Vancouver, coming from 2 down in both those games. But it comes down to goaltending for me. They've got a wealth of talent that can score in McDavid and Draisaitl. But I'm not sold on the Mike Smith and Koskinen duo in goal for this team. They need to get a goalie in. Ken Holland needs to get, he's been there 1,000+ days as GM. He needs to get a goalie in there. Nashville has a goalie. They have UC Saros, and he is in 5 games versus Edmonton. He's got a 1.71 goals against average. This is a team that was rolling along 12-2-1 clip. And then they were dealt a really weird scheduling quirk for this team as well, too, playing 4 games in 6 nights and having to travel between those games. They lost all 4, but 3 straight wins, and I get it. It's Winnipeg, it's Detroit, it's Seattle they beat. You can only beat the teams in front of you. This is a different team for Edmonton to face. This is a team with a good goalie, a team that plays well defensively, and the line is at -105, -110 for the Oilers at home for a reason, because it's essentially a coin flip game. And in that instance, I'm going with the team that plays better defensively. So give me the Nashville Predators here.
Carmine Bianco, yeah, and Carm, you're so right about Edmonton's goaltending problems. It's unbelievable, and there's so many decent backups lying around the league. One in Toronto. I don't understand what Edmonton is doing at all in regards to goaltending problems. And then they're sitting there talking about Evander Kane. Brandon Katz, McKinnon is better than McDavid. McDavid never does shit in the playoffs. Yeah, nor has McKinnon, with a hell of a lot better team. Anyway, Carmine Bianco, what do you got to promote, brother?
World Cup qualifying, 3 games today, 2 up in NHL right now. I'm adding 2 more games to that, so it's going to be a 4-pack in the NHL. And as you mentioned, yeah, it was a slow start in October, but since November 1st, the last 3 months, I think I'm number 2 in NHL at WagerTalk.com, and I'm going to continue to run it out. So we have a promo, Score $2.99. It's still valid. Score $2.99. Get the rest of the NHL regular season and all of the playoffs through the Cup finals for only $299. A great deal.
Awesome stuff, Carmine Bianco, everyone. What a show. Dave, Cokin, Carmine. We got Ralph coming up as well. quick reminder, and I'm going to do it again. Teddy's 5% in college basketball, my 5% in NHL. Use the promo code WTT30 for $30 off. We already have a few of you guys using it, so much appreciated. Ralph Michaels, man. Dude, we were talking about you yesterday. We talk about you a lot on this show. Welcome to Wager Talk Today, Thursday. My favorite segment of the week is just about to begin. What's up, bro?
Gentlemen, how are you? I think that Carm really does know you, Prez, doesn't he?
Who?
Carm.
Yeah, your volume is low. Yeah, Carm knows me. We're like best friends. I see him all the time. I love the guy. He's one of the most generous human beings in the world, too, flat out.
And I'm glad you finally started winning.
Thanks, Ralph. I don't even know what to say to that. Okay, Ralph, mic's yours. Tell us what we should do for this NFL Championship week.
Well, let's just start with a chart. And the chart's nothing wow, but at least it's informing you on what's happened in the championship games. These are only the AFC and NFC championships the last 10 years and last 21 years. How often do we hear in the NFL, if you pick the straight up winner, you're going to cover? Well, in the last 21 years, the straight up winner, 36-5-1. In the last 10 years, it should read last 10 years to the right. My secretary typed that wrong, or I guess I typed it wrong. 20-0 straight up. The winner, obviously, 17-3 against the spread. It shows you the home teams the last 10 years have gone 11-9 ATS, slightly to the over. Home teams that were previously at home, like Kansas City, have gone 9-7. Away teams like Cincinnati that were previously away have gone 4-5. And then I broke down scoring by quarters in the bottom. We see clearly in the last 10 years and the last 21 years, the second quarter has been the highest scoring quarter, followed by the fourth quarter. So I will post this on my Twitter at CalSportsLV. Just a little breakdown so you know those answers. How do those home teams in the championship do? How do teams do if they went over and the away team went under? Home off home, away off away, home off away, just to give you the answers to all those questions you might have for this Sunday's NFL games.
So, Ralph, I want to ask you, with the second quarter and the fourth quarter, the two highest scoring quarters in the playoffs, is that the same as the regular season where it's second quarter is the highest and then the fourth quarter second? Or is that a difference from what we, quote unquote, normally see throughout the 18-week regular season?
You know, Teddy, I am embarrassed I don't have the answer, nor did I notice when I looked it up and put it in there. So I don't have that data for you. I can pull it up. I will shoot it out on Twitter right after the show. But yes, I mean, obviously, it's very obvious that the second and fourth quarters are the highest scoring because the first and the thirds, you play into the second and the fourth. But as we're talking, I will try to pull it up and see as I start to go in the NFL and see if I could do two things at once moving forward.
Yeah, and Ralph, let me make this very clear. When I ask you a random question, I'm not expecting you to automatically, you don't have to be embarrassed if you don't know the answer and don't have time to look it up while I'm asking you. I didn't know if you knew offhand or not whether the second quarter or the fourth quarter was the higher scoring quarter of the regular season.
The database quick enough. Since 2016 in the NFL, the second quarter has averaged 14.2 points. The fourth quarter has averaged 13.2. So it's a full 1.0 points higher in the second than the fourth. So very similar to these playoff numbers.
Ralph Michaels, everyone. Ralph, before we continue, anything to promote? Any big runs you're on?
You know, no, up and down. Had a good couple days in college. Shit the bed yesterday. Do have a strong card today with 6. But again, a lot of you are just jumping into college basketball now. Do make sure you check out the Gold Sheet College Basketball Stat Sheet powered by WagerTalk. I put the first few pages on Twitter each day, and there's a free play from the Gold Sheet. If you go to my homepage every day, you are able to download the college basketball guide for that day with the play of the day and the next day to get a jump ahead. And that's so important on Fridays to get that 11 or 12 page PDF for Saturday's games. So WT.buzz/RM.
And of course,
I
that's
love
free.
it. Yeah.
100% free over at WagerTalk.com.
Not free to us, Teddy. We pay a fortune for Ralph and his team to put those charts together. But hey, we pay a fortune to do these shows. So guys, take advantage of that. It really is incredible. Ralph, Rams 49ers. It's going to be a fun game here. You got a bet for us on this one?
Yeah, on the chart, you guys, it went pretty quick. Teddy, you had mentioned how many times division rivals play a third time. In the championship series, it's only happened 4 times in the last 21 years, and has only happened twice in the last 10 years. So there's not enough data when we get to the championship to know how much it is. But I do like this first quarter under. Circa has an 8. Most places have 9.5s, -20 or -30. I do like the under. I've showed you that in the playoffs, the last 21 years, teams have averaged 8.6 points. In the last 10 years, they've averaged 9.1. You look at the Rams in San Francisco, first quarter, the last 5 games of the regular season, they were a combined 0 overs and 10 unders. In the playoffs, we've seen them continue that with a couple low-scoring games. One has gone over as San Fran did score 10 points, but you're talking about familiarity in these teams. San Francisco in the first quarter runs the ball 64% of the time as they try to establish the run and then open up the play action. I do like under first period in this. I don't mind taking that 9.5 and laying the -120, as these two division rivals, I think, know each other that well, will run the ball to try to establish the pass, and we will have an under first quarter of the NFC Championship Series.
So, Ralph, on big game breakdown earlier in the show, I made a case for the full game under in this one, as opposed to first quarter or first half. So I'm glad that you and I are at least thinking on the same page when it comes to first quarter under versus full game under. Any thoughts on the full game total here? Any trends, any angles, anything that we should be aware of in a third meeting between two teams? One game went over, one game went under in the regular season.
You know, there's not enough data when I looked at the championship series. And I think the championship series is so much different because when you're at this level, there's much more conservativeness that you're one game away from the Super Bowl. In the wild card games, you may have a little more looseness to the beginning of the games, but I think it intensifies here. And while the numbers, if you look at the data, championship games have leaned to the over. 26 overs and 15 unders the last 21 years, 11 overs and 8 unders the last 10 years. But when I break down these two matchups, wanting to run the ball first, and, you know, when you look at the Rams offense uses about a third of the plays fewer than anyone else. Sean McVay lines up in the exact same format so many times that it's easier to dissect for the defense. There's not many new schemes. So I do agree with the under full game. I had that play posted as a free play on my homepage on Monday as well, Teddy. So full game, definitely like. I just like the first quarter a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm with both of you guys completely. And, you know, one of our listeners writes, Rams aren't going to be able to run on San Fran. Rams put up 73 yards on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's got a better rush D than San Fran. But I love that play, Ralph. Good luck with it. You got a college basketball play for us today.
I do. And this is one of my 6 plays that I released to my all access clients. It's number 837. And I am going to play the Cal Bears plus the 16 or 16.5 against UCLA. Both teams played Arizona. Cal got blown out. UCLA beat Arizona on Tuesday. But what does that mean? Well, it means this. UCLA had fans for the first time in 24 days. This was the biggest win UCLA has had at home in decades. You're playing the best team in the conference, Arizona. You have fans. You are absolutely excited and thrilled. and you're a 3-point dog and you knock off the Wildcats. That also means this. If both teams played Arizona, there's a significant rest difference. Cal is playing their second game in 12 days. UCLA is playing their third game in 6 days. You're off your biggest win at home in who knows how long. You have a Cal team that's 7-1 with a total under 140. You have a Cal team that's one of the slowest tempo teams. UCLA, a very slow tempo team. And getting these 16.5 points, I will take them all day long in a letdown spot for the UCLA Bruins. Game number 837, California plus 16 or 16.5.
So, Ralph, kind of agreeing with Dave Cokin that this is not a spot that we want to be laying with the favorite. It's dog or pass. Prez, I don't mean to cross-examine you, but you say something stupid, I got to jump in on you, buddy. You know, you're talking about the Rams running game against Tampa, 30 rushes for 73 yards at 2.4 yards per carry. That's not running the football effectively. It wasn't a good running game for LA last week. And then Akers fumbled twice as well to make it even worse. So I don't understand everything. Oh, they ran for 73 yards like that's a good thing. 73 rushing yards in an NFL game is not a good thing. And at 2.4 yards per carry, it's particularly not a good thing. So I don't understand what you're saying about that.
And they were up trying to play ball control. So yes, not Prez's greatest moment, but that's okay because you know what, Teddy? One sec, Ralph. You know what? You know why it's okay, Teddy? Because
why is that, Lawrence?
Stupid say is not necessarily stupid do. I went 3-0 last week in the NFL. I called that Rams game perfectly. So I might be a moron every now and again, but I own the NFL. Ralph, what did you want to say, my brother?
I was just going to back it up statistically. LA, Tampa Bay was number 15 rushing, allowing 4.3 yards per carry. San Francisco, number 7 in the NFL, allowing 4.01 yards per carry on the season.
Well, good thing Prez doesn't take that into account in his handicapping because he wouldn't have gone 3-0 last weekend. Oh, one of our listeners, and I love these guys, man. Big Earn. Big Earn writes, what did he wrote something to the extent of, I can't believe you guys think the NFL is authentic. They're playing on a script. They're just reading a script. Big Earn, yes, 100 players per game, plus all the coaching staff and head office, all sign non-disclosure agreements. Every game, every year, forever, and yet none of us have seen one of these agreements. They must be one of those non-disclosures where if you say it, your dick gets cut off. And that's how they've kept it under wraps for so bloody long. Ralph Michaels, thanks, brother. Teddy, it's time. We got 100 thumbs up. Let's go. All right, everybody. If you guys missed a Wager Talk today and you're watching this on YouTube, you got to check it out. Dave Cokin, Carmine Bianco, Ralph Michaels. We talked CBB, NHL, and we did a deep dive into the San Francisco LA Rams game. Plus, Ralph's chart was absolutely spectacular. Check that out. You can find us at Wager Talk TV. I got 3 plays for you guys on this video, and I do want to say quickly, Teddy covers as a 5% play in college basketball tonight. I have a 5% play in NHL. If you put both plays in the shopping cart at the same time, you can use the promo code WTT30. That's WTT30. You get $30 off of both those 5% plays. If you just want my 5% play in the NHL, use the promo code PREZ15 and you get $15 off. As for your free bets tonight, Guys, the first pick I'm giving you isn't free. It's a client play. I got 2 NHL plays tonight. One's a 5-star, and the other one is the New York Islanders. Minus 125. The New York Islanders, from my perspective, are a bet on team moving forward. The bottom line here, guys, is this team is a really good hockey team that started the season terribly. They had some injuries. They lost a bunch of games to COVID, and they basically played the first month of the season on the road. This is the same team that went deep into the playoffs. This is the same team that is really hard to play against. They're going to go on a run, take the New York Islanders. Joey, yes, WTT 30. WTT 30. The other two bets, Pittsburgh over the total of 6 and the St. Louis Blues. That's it. Teddy, shawarma day, baby. Take us home.
Sure, and I hope your presidential address works out better today than it has in recent days for our viewing audience. There's the flip off. Love it. The compliment with the smack at the end. That's going to wrap it for the Thursday edition of Wager Talk Today, WTT. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same time, same channel, 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon for you back east. Between now and then, enjoy the games. Good luck tonight.
Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 57 on February 12, 2023 from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1,199 versus a regular price of $1,999 for one total savings of $800. This limited time super discount comes out to less than $100 per month and only $3.28 per day. As an added bonus, your all access starts immediately. So the sooner you buy before Super Bowl 56, the more additional days you will get for free. Just go to WagerTalk.com, choose your favorite handicapper to lock in, and don't forget there is no limit to the amount of handicappers you can redeem our Super Bowl to Super Bowl offer on.